Hi, everybody. Welcome to Alpha and Omega, our third episode. Thanks for being here with us. I'm here with Kenneth Clifford. He's just got back from Europe, and we're now living together here in QDS. And we just felt to share a release of emotion that I feel like Ken is about to pop into. So we'll let him speak. But before we do, I'll just share with you a section from A Course in Miracles that is in my mind today from a lesson, A Meaningless World Engenders Fear. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, Ken, what do you feel to share?
We're basically fixing a gas pipe here. There's a gas leak in the house, so we need to take care of it. It's obvious. I think it's like I've always felt this huge responsibility because it's like a big deal. And I know that it puts like a strain on everyone. I see it with maintenance. It's like maintenance somehow affects everyone, you know. It's like you can be in your pockets in social media and it just affects a few of you. But maintenance affects everyone in the house. So it feels like I have this sort of added pressure of like, you're letting everyone down. We need an answer. And then it's so easy for me to get into the doer and like, I need someone round here now. I need this job done, which I can do that. But it doesn't feel good in my heart any longer. You know, I'm not like coming from a good place. I'm like, let's get this done. And then I can move on to something good, you know, because this is a hassle. This is pressure. It's costing money. You know, I think about all those things. It's costing time. It's costing money. There's many more things going on. But working with Vicky has been incredible because she has all the details, and I'm really not like that. I'm like, okay, I'm like, how can I fix it? That's the only thing I need to know. I don't need to know the details. I just need to know how am I going to fix this problem. But she looks at it from the broader perspective, which is really good for me because I'm like, I never thought of that. So I love that. So it's a good team. It's a really good team, and I love being with her in that. So that's been great. So we really went over everything yesterday, and I felt like, okay, we've really gone over everything. I really felt complete with her, and I enjoyed the join-ins with her, and we shared all of our thoughts of unworthiness and wanting to let go of being responsible. And so that had been really nice. And she shared, and she had a really good cry, and I thought, oh, this is great. She's, you know, this is what it's all for. And then yesterday evening you came to the table and said, hey, something's missing. And automatically it felt like this is the thought that always comes into my mind. This is the thing that I haven't healed, and this is where I want to, hopefully we can get underneath it something. But it was afterwards I felt like the ego says to me, you were ambushed. They ambushed you. Yeah, this is always the word that comes up, is being ambushed. And it was like, when we spoke, like I didn't have all the answers, and then we handed it over to Vicky, and she did have the answers for you. Like it was like I was trying to be like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but I didn't know. It's like that pattern, like I've got to know, but I didn't fully know. I don't fully know exactly how it's all working, yeah. And then like when you were questioning us, seemingly, so this is my words, like I was like in my mind, like it wasn't at the time, but it was like afterwards, like I was being interrogated, and like then my thoughts go to, okay, I'm not being trusted. They're questioning what I'm doing, and they don't believe me because it was like, you know, a couple of times you said, no, that's not right, no, that's not right, and I felt like you had just sort of butted in before we'd finished saying what we were saying. And then I started to get nervous. This is what normally happens. And I start to get nervous and think, I'm not, now I get lost in trying to relay what I know. So I felt pushed back. And then, okay, Vicky stepped in and then she shared, and we did feel like we got somewhere. So it's like this. It's like these really, really old thoughts.
And it's a male thing.
It's a male. It's a particularly a male thing because I didn't feel it with Emily. So it was a slight little. There was a slight. I felt like you were questioning me. Yeah. Do you know what you're doing? You were trying to find me out. And it was like it came from nowhere. It wasn't like, in my mind, of course, how I want it. Hey, let's explore this. Let's see what's going on. I felt like it was like, in my mind, I'm going to find out where you miss these things, and then I'm going to put you right. That's the feeling in my mind. And then I felt like a victim because I thought, well, I felt like I've done everything that I could at that time, and I'm grateful for this new information. But then it was afterwards, and then it's afterwards, this is when it starts, and it starts to be, okay, so he's tried to push you once. Okay, we're going to have to keep an eye on this, So I'll take 3 or 4 of these, and then I'm going to start with the demands, yeah? And so I can see that, this is my ego mind, yeah? And it's like, this is what I've done. It's like,
you're just gonna make up some things for me to do, or
it's like now that radar comes out. Like he's questioned you once. He's trying to stamp his authority on you. That was the first one. Okay, it was light. It was fair enough. He had what he had to say. But now, ping. Keep your eye on this. Yeah. So it's like now my vision will be on this, right? So then my radar's now out for this. There's another one. So there's number 2 now, so now my radar's going to be completely on this. And then it's like, well, number 3 is going to be a warrant for you to start stamping your authority now, or number 4, then we're talking about war now. Right. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be going down this road. So I spoke with Anna, and Anna goes, I didn't hear any of that. And I goes, what, you didn't feel like I was being ambushed? She goes, no, I thought it was really helpful, and we got some really, really helpful information. And I goes, yeah, I suppose we did. Right. And so then I thought, oh my God, I've got to speak to you, because if I just let that one little thought, start manifesting in my mind, then, oh my God, all hell's going to break loose. And I just can't have that. I just can't do that. And I think my ego was like not happy about this. That's why I was running to the toilet every 5 minutes, because he's like, don't do this, because we won't have any grievances to hold on to. And then as soon as I saw you, I didn't feel a thing. And you're like, hey, let's do the Alpha and Omega thing. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like looking at you, and I'm not even seeing any of that stuff in my mind. I'm seeing like, you're like wanting to join with me. Yeah, enjoy. You're like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, well, what the hell was that then? It just like, poof, it just completely disappeared from my mind. And then I'm like, yeah, I want to be really helpful, and I'm not seeing any of that. But it's like, I just feel like I just want to nip those things in the bud before, like, they even have any power, shall we call it? Because I just don't want that. And particularly as we're going to be joining, then maybe this is it. It's like, this is why it's coming up. Because I don't want that any longer, because I've seen that with males. This has been my whole goddamn life, of this idea. And I don't want that idea any longer. I actually truly want to join with you.
Well, I was thinking today's lesson's going to apply to this somehow. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess, and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices. So it's like the lesson is lesson 13, a meaningless world engenders fear. And there's this fear in the mind that unrecognized as just pure fear it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. So if there isn't like being in touch with the fear and then letting that move through, then this is very natural that we would do this. We would, well, it's because I got ambushed. Or, you don't even question the ambush, but the images, you crowd it with images that do not exist. Yeah. And to the ego, these images, illusions, are safety devices. Why are they safety devices, though? Because they displace the fear. They project it. I remember one time coming back from Argentina on a long flight, I think it was a 13-hour flight to Toronto, and I just asked Jesus for some guidance for my next steps. And I had heard support David, but then I was like, anything else? And that was a lot of the hours, but anything else? And the only other thing I heard was, do not project the error. And this is what I feel he means when he says, do not project the error. Like, if you can hold it close, to let it go, not to like, that you did something wrong or anyone did. So, yeah, I feel it's great. You just kind of laid out all the attributes that aren't there. Because he says, recognition of meaningless arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. So if you're quiet and you see the fear and you get under the fear, then you've accepted God's meaning. But if you don't and you let the fear dictate everything, then the ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence and unreality. And on this alone it is correct. So it's I kind of feel it's like the Mary Baker Eddy, in Christian Science, where they use the word claim. Like, our job is just to see in the mind all the claims that come up that this is true or that that's true, and this is what you're doing. Like, it's beautiful. Just saying them all. I mean, you probably don't realize, but it's kind of funny, because do you want to hear what our perspective, kind of what actually, not that this is what I just read is the real healing, but Emily and I were just coming down for dinner, and we were talking about the gas thing, because she didn't know what to do with something. So we had just decided, well, we'll meet with Anna, and we're like, oh, they're in a meeting. Okay, we'll meet with her after. And then we thought, well, Vicky's there too. Why don't we just go down and talk to them about it? So we went down to talk to Anna and Vicky, and it just happened to be that you and Melly were there. So I was looking at Vicky the whole time, but then I realized, oh, Ken's here too. He's supporting with maintenance. That's good. That's helpful. We can all decide together. But you can see it's a very different take on things. Yeah. You weren't even in mind at all.
You know what? I was thinking this as well, because when you were looking at me, and obviously I couldn't answer in the right way, it was afterwards I was thinking, well, it wasn't really for me, because it was for Vicky, yeah. But it's, as you said, it's more about this healing, because the other part to this is of course, like what you were just sharing, is the ego wants to keep hold of the fear without looking at the fear, yeah. And so it's like, so now I've got this one mark against Jason now, and now we're going to start building upon those.
Is he still there, or is it?
No, it's not there now. I don't.
Get it clean.
Yeah, it's complete. Yeah, I feel completely clean.
Okay,
but then
want to get up to number 3 and 4.
Yeah. And then, but my other part was then, like, as soon as I messaged you, I completely calmed down. I was like in this frantic state, like, oh my God, my whole life's fallen apart. So as soon as I messaged, the whole thing just went from. And it was like, just in saying that was like enough just to reach out. Okay, let's reach out. Because the other part was me, the word that keeps coming to me is humbleness, yeah? Like, you need to be humble. And it was like, this moment was one of those moments where it was like, to choose the ego would not be to be humble, yeah? It's like, no, because I might be wrong. You know, the ego's like, yeah, well, he might actually prove that you were wrong and make you wrong. And do you want that? Let's just hold on to this grievance and let's build on it, you know, because you don't want that. And that's the power thing going on. But then there was the other part of me said, no, I want to be humble and I want to be wrong and I want to learn the lesson that's underneath this. And then that became the inspiring thing. So for me, that was actually like a victory in my own mind, because so long before was always like, no, I'm going to prove that I'm right about this and I'm going to make him wrong. And then then we can build the relationship from that, because I'm right and he's trying to pick on me. But it's like somehow I remember, who was it? It was Mel, when she was in the community and I had this big authority thing and I just started crying with her. Somehow I could soften with her and I just cried and cried and cried and I said, oh my God, I don't know how to stop this, Mel. And she said one word to me. She said, just stay down. Just stay down. And I was like, that is just the worst thing ever. Like, oh, how can I stay down? She said, no, you just got to stay down. You've got to be humble. Yeah. And it will, I promise you it'll go. I was like, that is just not in my awareness. I just don't even understand what you're saying to me at the moment. You might as well be talking Chinese. Like, I don't understand how to stay down. And it's like, finally, now it's like that lesson, like, this is the way, and it's much, much better. It's like, for everyone, it feels good in my heart. So I'm just so grateful about just even sending the message was like enough, you know. Yeah. So thank you for your willingness. I'm so grateful we have this. Because there was like another thing, because like from your shows and everything, like I shared, like I was really inspired by them. And I just thought, wow, there's like something in me that was touched by what you did. And I wasn't in touch with it. And I was like, well, I need to get in touch with this because I can feel that there's something underneath this for me. And then I just felt like it's for me to be humble again and to say, no, I want to learn from you. And that's like normally like really hard for me to say these things. Like I feel like there's many gifts here for me. And so I really, really want to listen to what you've got to say. I really, really do, because I really, really want to learn. I want to let go of these things. Yeah, but often I don't want to say that to anybody. It's like this arrogance and pride, and I'm just done with that. Really, really done with that. Like, no, you have a gift, and I see that. I see you have a huge gift, and for us all here, and including me, and I actually want to accept the gift. And I feel in return, hopefully I'll be able to give a gift to you as well. Because that's what I've seen. It's like it always works both ways. So it's not me, you know, my ego says, you've got to back down then. You've got to bow down. And it's like, no. And it's like, just in doing this, I can feel that it's all not real.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And if you'd like to hear more from Ken and I, we will be doing a show starting February 7th called Get Up. And it's a combination of Kenneth's Get Real show with Kenneth Clifford and my From the Bottom Up. We're bringing them together and we're calling it Get Up. So we'll see you February 7th at 11 a.m. Central. Bye.